What's up, Sons of Montezuma? The 2024 San Diego State football season is finally here. Joining us today is former tight end and current offensive graduate assistant coach, Parker Houston.
The edge. Gonna try it. He's got it. Record time. Donnell Pumphrey smashes the record. On the return is Rashad Penny. And Penny finds a seam. Penny to the outside. Penny will go the distance. First and goal. Fake to Penny. Open man. Wells. He leads. He gets the ball. And they say touchdown San Diego State. Dingwell back to pass. He lofts it up there to the corner. Touchdown Adam Roberts. Scared money don't make no money. Rocky Long and the Aztecs will walk away with a big win in OT.
Gotta always remember to hit record.
Yeah,
It's a good start. It's always
that would not be good to not record it.
What's up, man? What's up? Welcome,
Oh,
welcome.
man.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
How you doing, dude?
Great, man. Great.
I love the beard, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, we got a nice little competition going on between the staff and the team, and you know those that signed up are growing out their beards. And at the end of the year, hopefully there'll be a nice little shirt waiting for me.
That's awesome, man. You're hurting my feelings right now because I just shaved mine this weekend. So I really feel it gone now with you looking at me with that thing.
But yeah, no, it's starting to get to that length where the coaches look like they just picked me up off the sidewalk, and brought me in. So I'm gonna have to go down, get the sides a little tapered up. But other than that, man, I'm gonna let it go.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, dude. Great beard.
They were driving around PB one day, and they said, "Look at this guy. He looks like he could ball. Let's get him." All right, let me do my little spiel, and then we'll get right into it.
Yes, sir.
All right, Aztec Nation, our next guest is making his Sons of Montezuma podcast debut. This Aztec for life is a former San Diego State tight end and a team captain. That's right. He lettered 4 years in the red and black from 2016 to 2019. There he played bully ball, both blocking and receiving for those physical Jeff Horton offenses. And he helped SDSU in winning a Mountain West championship in 2016, as he also led to 3 double-digit winning seasons. After his days on the Mesa were through, he signed with the Arizona Cardinals as a free agent in the NFL. And last season, he came back to San Diego State as a GA, a graduate assistant on the football team, as he pursues his love for coaching. Aztec Nation, welcome a true son of Montezuma, number 82, Parker Houston. Welcome.
Let's go. Hey, thank you guys for having me on this. I really appreciate it. Following Sons of Montezuma from the days that I played to now the days that I'm coaching. So it's really good. I'm really honored to be here. So I thank you guys for the opportunity.
Thank you for joining us, man. It's good to have you, dude.
Appreciate it. And it was a hell of an introduction, man. Like you could have just went with, hey, he's an Aztec for life. But you know what? I appreciate all the shout outs, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Hey, dude, I can feel you on that because he does my introduction sometimes, and I'm like, you talking about me?
Protecting our borders from CJ. He hasn't been doing that great of a job, though, James. So, No, man, we appreciate you joining. We've been doing this thing for a minute, so it's great to hear. You recall us back in those days playing on the Mesa. We want to get into it all, man, because I know you got your football journey, and that's one of the things we love to catch up with guys like yourself that have gone through the program in their years. Took it to the next level, battled through some things. You've been getting into coaching now, so let's get into it all. But
absolutely, let's do it.
Last year was your first year as a GA, am I correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Now, you were on the defensive side of the ball last year. Now you're on the offense. So explain to the listeners and the watchers a little bit at San Diego State, what does it take to be a GA? Like, what does that mean when you're on the offensive side or the defensive side of the ball as you are?
Yeah, so just like you said it, was on the defensive side last year, and a couple of the people that I had talked with before making the decision to come back here said that, you know, being a young coach and being able to learn the other side of the football is a great deal to have. And, you know, I'm very thankful for Coach Hoke and Coach Maddox and Coach Bojay to give me that opportunity and to be able to learn, you know, the defense side of the ball. And because I haven't, you know, been around defense or played defense since my senior year of high school in 2016. So it was good to learn from some guys that have some real knowledge about that side of the ball and about the game itself. But I'm super happy to be back on the offense, especially getting to work closely with Coach Schmidt, who I got to play for, and now I'm coaching with. So, you know, the knowledge that he has, not only about the game, but about life and all of that is I'm taking in every piece of advice that he's going to give me. And, you know, whether he may not know it that he's giving me advice, I'm taking everything that he's talking about. But, you know, being a GA comes with a lot of late nights and a lot of long hours and, you know, someone who loves football as much as I do, I don't mind it, you know, and I'm a night person anyways. So spending some long nights at the office and breaking down film and watching opponents and self-scouting ourselves and, you know, all those kinds of things, or, you know, someone who truly has a passion for the game, it's fun for you. You know, it's, you know, we just started our scouting on Texas A&M Commerce, and, you know, everybody had some butterflies in their stomachs because everybody was getting really excited that, hey, we're stopping going against ourselves and we finally get to hit a different colored jersey. So a lot of buzz around the office right now, but you know, being a GA, a lot of groundwork, but, you know, it's what you got to do. It's how you earn your keep.
I like that little Freudian slip you had. We're about to hit another.
Yeah, it's been a long day already. So if I fall asleep, please text me and wake me up, but I'll do my best.
Love it. No, man, you know, we have on our show occasionally, we call him Coach C. He was a GA back in the Tom Craft years in the early 2000s. So he's a good friend of ours. He joins us, and he's got some stories on those GA responsibilities that you got to do. Sometimes the bed checks, make sure everybody's, you know, sleeping the night before game or whatever, make sure they're there.
Yeah, I'm sure his job was a lot harder with the way film was back then. So I think I have it a lot easier. And, you know, hearing some stories of how some previous coaches were GAs and what they had to do to actually cut up film. So I'm pretty thankful that in this world we have some pretty sweet technology to take advantage of.
Is there a software name that you want to throw out there? Is that it's pretty?
Yeah, so we use DV Sport, which is one of the top two softwares to use for film and all that stuff. So we utilize that. We utilize PFF as well. They do a really good job over there, and it helps me with a lot of my like tedious things like down, distance, gain. So that's cut away a lot of time. But, you know, DV Sport does a great job with us at San Diego State University, and you know, they're based locally as well. So we have one of their staff members up here quite often to help us unlock new things that we didn't know about with the technology and be able to, you know, give us the tips and the tricks of the trade. And so it's really nice having them local to be able to help us use their software.
That's awesome,
man.
Mm-hmm. So being a GA also means that basically you're pursuing your master's, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, what does that all entail? Is that pretty much the same for everybody who's on the staff as far as being a GA? Is it all in the same master's and the same degree in that same field of study, or is it still open to choosing?
It's pretty open to choosing. My situation, you know, when I was playing here, I actually started my master's that last season. And so I was already bought into the Homeland Security program we have here at San Diego State. So I've been just continuing that. And I'm about 2 classes away from graduating, but I'm going to try to extend it as long as I can to be able to continue to be a GA at San Diego State and for this coaching staff. And but it's, you know, a lot of, I think our 3 other GAs who are all new this year, I believe they're in a counseling and education master's program. So it does vary from person to person. Obviously, there's some easier ones with our schedules that, maybe they're more online based, where it kind of fits into your schedule a little better, or, maybe the classes are a little easier. But, I really like the program I'm in, and the professors and the staff members that run it do a really good job and make it very interactive, being Homeland Security. So we have people from, all the 3-letter agencies, and, they come in and they give you some really good experience and some life situations that they've been through. And it's a really good opportunity for a lot of people, especially with the program we have here being one of the, if not the best Homeland Security program, in the nation. So.
Awesome, man. And if this coaching thing doesn't work out for you, which I know it will, but if it doesn't, I'm the guy to talk to. I may or may not have some connections in Homeland Security.
Hey, I love to hear that. That works for me.
Yeah, dude. It's funny. I talk with our recruiters a lot, and I tell them, like, dude, you guys have to make appointments with the athletic departments at San Diego State, USD, everywhere in San Diego to get college educated athletic people. Like, that's the prime recruiting ground for future agents of whatever 3-letter agency you're looking for. Those are the best guys you want, and gals you want. So that's like been a big. I used to butt heads with our recruiters about that quite a bit.
Yeah, no, and I mean, even some people in the class that are still taking the class, they are either active duty or they're retired veterans that are, on their VA bill, and they're looking to enhance their career through having the Homeland Security degree. I know I had a classmate who was in NCIS last year, and my first question was, my dad and I always used to watch the show. Is it anything like that? She kind of just laughed at me. So it's good having those kinds of classmates. You go from your undergrad, where you're in there with a lot of your teammates and you're in a lot of fairly easy classes, but being in the program that I am in, I am the oddball, and it's good for me because sometimes those new experiences or those different social groups are hard to kind of blend with. So it's been really good for me in that sense as well, and being able to create friends inside of the Homeland Security program, and getting to hear about their stories. And I had a classmate who unfortunately stepped on an IED, was a double amputee, but he was one of the coolest people to talk to, and so down to earth. And so I really do like being the oddball in a lot of those classes, just because of the experiences that I get to hear about, because they're going to be so different from mine.
Awesome, dude. Awesome.
Give you a chance to get outside of that football bubble, that insulation that, it's such a demanding profession being a coach, that I can imagine that is like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. I mean, especially like during this fall camp period, like, we've seen our guys for 24 days straight. Yeah. And so, letting them have the day off today to kind of recuperate and, get what they need to get done before the school year starts is a nice break. But, it's funny when you walk out in public and you're the tallest one again, and you don't have 7'7" Joe Borjon or 7'8" Christian Jones standing next to you. So like, it's kind of nice to be tall again once in a while, but it's such a different reality. But being out in those public spaces, nice little break from being the runt in the O-line room.
Oh man. Speaking of O-line room, how you mentioned you're excited to be with Coach Schmidt again. How has that been, like, being back with Coach Schmidt? You worked with him a little bit before. You were in the tight end group, but still you worked quite a bit with him before. Is it nice having him back again?
Yeah, I mean, not only for me personally, I love having him back. One, because I got to play for him. And Mateo, as you mentioned, it was Coach Horton's run-heavy offense, and I was a run-blocking tight end. So being able to work closely and communicate with Coach Schmidt on game day about what we're seeing and things like that. But being able to, learn from someone who played at San Diego State, was a GA at San Diego State, was an O-line coach at San Diego State. So getting to hear his experiences and, it's been good for me. But having him back at the university, with how strong his ties are here to the city, I think it's really enhanced what we're able to do in our O-line room and who we are able to recruit. Just his personality, his knowledge of the game, and the way he goes about everything. Like, he doesn't care who you are. You're going to get the same Coach Schmidt all the time. And, you can see it that he blames himself for a lot of things, but he also he talks about he's a bad coach if he doesn't do this for you. And I really like that about him because, it's obviously we know as coaches, we can try and give the players the best advantage that they can. And sometimes it doesn't work out. But then again, Coach Schmidt's going to always take the blame for the O-line not doing the right thing. He's going to say, I got to coach them better. I got to show them this look. And so being around that kind of person, trying to model the coach I want to be and stealing from different coaches I've been with, there's a lot of things that I'm going to take from Coach Schmidt.
What an awesome position you're in, man. I mean, you've had the chance to obviously be a GA under Brady Hoke, and now with Coach Schmidt coming back, all that experience there, and then now with that transition going in with Coach Lewis coming. I mean, you talk about being one of the shorter persons now. When the head man is that tall, that's a whole different story. So, I mean, what an education you're getting these last 2 years here back at State, not only off the football field but on. Between the 2 years that you've been a GA, I mean, what has surprised you the most? And man, it's game week. So it's game week. I know you're preparing for the team. We'll get into all that stuff. But as a GA, I mean, what has surprised you the most, maybe from last year to this year, or just the job in general?
Yeah, I would say, obviously being a player, you're around it and you kind of understand a lot of what the coaches do. Especially in this new age of football, the roster management to me has been, surprising, and trying to understand and learn from how Coach Lou is handling our team, being at the helm. And it's just a different day and age with NIL and transfer rules and things like that. So learning about roster management has probably been what I've taken most from this, to hopefully maybe one day be in the position that Coach Lewis is in, and surround yourself with players who want to play for you and players who want to be able to play at the highest level. So roster management's definitely an interesting piece of it, but also the styles of each coach. Obviously, Coach Hoke was an old school coach, and we did a lot of things the old school way. I think with the way college football is moving, I'm really glad to have Coach Lewis as our head coach, because I think he brings a different perspective than what we've had. And don't get me wrong, I love Coach Hoke and I love Coach Long, and that was the style of football that I wanted to play, and I fit perfectly. I joke about it with Coach Schmidt and Coach Lindley all the time. Like, I wouldn't have been here if Coach Lewis was the head coach, because that's not my style of offense. But the approach that Coach Lewis brings every day, and his I got it right here, the be the alpha, the mentality, and he's got a lot of good ones, like be the alpha, stacking +1 days, cover and move. Like, there's things that he does as a younger head coach that I think are good for the university because of the way college football is moving. And it's things with uniforms, schedules, and things like that. Not our game uniforms, unfortunately. I wish I could tell you we're coming out in all reds game 1, but it's letting guys have their own personalities during workouts and during runs, and things like that, to where that's kind of what this generation of kids really looks for. Coach Lou loves letting the kids be themselves within the construct of us being a team. And so I think that's one of the biggest changes from guys that I played for, guys that I got to coach for last year, and what the situation is right now.
Kind of piggybacking on that, Coach Hoke was that old school, grinded out kind of guy, and Coach Long before him. Can you speak on kind of like how the adjustment was going from working with him, playing for them, working under them, and that diametric opposite coach who just wants to go fast? How big of an adjustment was that for you as a coach, and learning how to coach that way and that kind of thing?
Well, I'll tell you right now, most of the time when you get into the season, you make scout cards for the offense. Yeah, because of our Aztec fast tempo, there are no scout cards. So coach, myself and the other GA, Coach Taj, aka TC, we're gonna have to call it from the hip. And so Coach Taj and I are adjusting a little bit, and we're about to roll out there with coaches' wristbands, and we're gonna start calling plays from the hip. And we'll see how that goes. But both him and I are excited for the opportunity. But it is a huge change, and just the tempo that we go out, not only for us as coaches, trying to be able to, I'm going to be in the box this year, and being able to communicate with Coach Schmidt from, the play that Coach Lewis calls, and then be able to communicate the defensive IDs and fronts and things like that. Like, it's a huge change because you feel like you have no time to do anything, which is good because that's what we want the defense to feel like, right? We want to stretch the field vertically and horizontally, and we want to do it at a very fast tempo. So I would say that that's the biggest adjustment, is just trying to be able to keep up with Coach Lewis. And it's a lot of fun because when he gets going, he goes fast. We have Coach Taj and I have a student assistant now that helps us with a lot of things. But before that, we were writing down plays that he would call, and it looked like a fifth grader's handwriting on the paper. So trying to dissect that wasn't fun, but it's watching how involved he gets and how much energy that he brings to that Aztec fast lifestyle. Like, it's fun to be around, and it makes you as a player, want to go out there and try to match his tempo. And a lot of times it's hard to do because, like I said, when he gets going, he gets going.
Yeah, there's no times to hold the card for the scout team. All right, you're going to do this and this. You don't have time for that kind of thing.
Done. Gone. See ya. So it'll be interesting. Tomorrow's going to be our first real shot at it. So we'll see how that goes for Coach Taj and myself.
God bless you guys. Good luck.
Thank you.
I love hearing it because knowing Coach Lewis, he's such a tactician. He's all about the scheme. I mean, he's super, the mastermind of what he's running. So
yeah. I mean, and it's impressive too for as fast as we go, for him not to have a call sheet. The fact that everything is up in his head and he's able to spit it out quickly on the headsets. It's it's like you don't even know how to explain it, to be honest. So being able to do stuff where he flips formations, flips plays in his head, and is able to call the next thing on the headset. So it's a different lifestyle.
All right, Parker, let's take it back a little bit before we get into the game week. Your days as an Aztec. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but you're kind of known for having the reputation of being a little bit of a trash talker in your time.
I plead the fifth.
What was your go-to line as a player? What was like your favorite way to get into the opponent's head?
You know what? Honestly, the favorite line had to be when you pancake somebody and you just told the little guy to stay down, and obviously you're trying to like surf over the top of them while they're still laying down. But, it was just being the shorter tight end, and, you had to have an edge. And my edge was, to be quite frank, trying to be an asshole. Anything I could do that would give me the advantage versus some of the bigger D linemen that I played. And, whether it be in the meeting room and learning everything, or, on the practice field working techniques, or, just being aggressive and being mean. So, I love the trash talk, and it probably got me in trouble more times than it helped. But, it was how I played. And that's why I fit in Coach Horton's offense, was because you had to be. It was smash mouth, snot nose, bubble football. Like, if you weren't going to go stick your face through somebody's thigh board on a cut block, we don't have a spot for you. And I think it really helped, like, David Wells being the starter, my first 2 years. Like, Wellesley had a different attitude, and, obviously being an 18-year-old kid and getting to learn from him, like, you tried to be like him, and, got to be able to, play that freshman year. And it was because a lot of things that my coach at the time, Coach Laudenslayer, and David Wells helped me get ready for. And, one of the things that Wells always did was Wells always tried to finish a block. And so I tried to finish a block, and Wellesley would try to run downfield and get that extra touchdown block. And so I wanted to run down the field and get the extra touchdown block. And Wellesley talked a lot of shit in practice, so I wanted to talk a lot of shit. So, anything that, like I said, anything that could enhance my game, being mean and aggressive, and just trying to physically put dudes in the dirt and see if you get some grass stuck in their face mask or anything like that. Like football's a violent physical sport. Like you got to have that tendency to you.
You got to have a little bit of that mean streak.
Absolutely.
So what brought you to San Diego State, man? Because you are a Nevada guy. You're as we like to say, East Tahoe. Reno, right? Reno Sparks,
Sparks,
that general area. Yeah, we have some mutual acquaintances and whatnot, and home is up there, man. Home is up there. So is that what brought you to San Diego State? Was it the style of ball? Was it something else?
Obviously I wasn't recruited by UNR. And so getting the opportunity to know Coach Horton and understand his history with the area and his history with coaching careers. And I got to see Coach Schmidt come down one time because of Tyler Romer up in Fernley, Nevada. Like I got to meet Coach Schmidt and, just knowing what my strengths and my weaknesses were, knowing I would fit into Coach Horton's offense. Plus you can't turn down San Diego. Like you put some of the other schools that I had offers from against San Diego, and I'm not going to Idaho, even though the Kibbe Dome's as cool as it is. There's a little difference between Idaho and San Diego. So understanding the location of it, understanding how prestigious the university is. Education's always been important to me. It's always been important to my family. So for my grandparents to know that, and my grandparents and my parents to know that I was going to get an education at one of the best universities in the country was a huge upside selling point for them. But ultimately it came down to, the relationship that I had built with Coach Horton and, the style of offense that I was going to play in was going to fit me as a player and gives me the best chance to succeed and be able to play at the next level.
So what was in your time, some very successful teams, right? I mean, we said it, championship, multiple double-digit winning seasons. What's a Aztec win that you have under the belt that really you just cherish that victory? There's got to be a few.
The championship game my freshman year, going up to Wyoming for the second time after they had beaten us 2 weeks before, negative 13, 15 degrees, and I'm out there in no sleeves. And, that always stick in my memory just because of, like the relief you felt. Like we had worked so hard to get to this point and you never know if it's going to pay off, but, we were prepared the right way and we had a really good game plan. And obviously, like they always do, defense played their asses off. And, we were able to pull it together. And then you flash forward a year, and I think the Stanford game where there was a blackout and David Wells caught the game-winning touchdown. Like I will forever remember him scoring, fumbling the ball, and I tried to get the ball back because I didn't know if he had scored or not. And then getting up to celebrate with him and Bodden. I'll remember that forever. Beating Air Force that year as well, going down there, having that 2-hour rain delay with inches of standing water on the field, beating UCLA at the Rose Bowl. I mean, you get to play at such an iconic place versus one of those Pac-12 teams. Like you got to come prepared, you got to come ready, and to be in that stadium against that opponent and with the team that we had was a lot of fun. And then obviously the last game of my career here where we beat Central Michigan at the New Mexico Bowl 48-0, and it was the most points I'd ever seen in my life on our scoreboard. So, being able to accomplish that and, it's an awesome feeling. And to be able to look back at some of those memories and some of the guys that I've played with that are still my friends to this date and that I talk to on the regular, like, having a career that I had and got to be around the people that I was it's just something that's going to be able to stick with me forever.
Awesome, man. That took me down memory lane, man. I didn't forget, but you kind of forget a little bit how much fun we had back then, man. That was a really fun season.
Absolutely. And you look at some of the personalities that we've had on the team, like 2016, you got DeMonte Casey, you got Malik, you got, Cam, and, got all these guys with these huge personalities, and they were so much fun to be around. And, I can't forget DJ Pumphrey, like those guys' attitudes and their approach to everything was so much fun to be around. And then as you look at some of those later years that I played, you look at guys like Taylor Hawkins, Dwayne Johnson, Keith Ishmael and Billy Dunkel. Like, the personalities that they had made it fun to be day 18 of fall camp, and everybody's tired. Everybody's, feeling sore and sorry for themselves. But then you got guys like that who, are able to just light you up with a smile as soon as, you hear them say something stupid, or, it's just talking trash. I always remember talking trash to DJ during one-on-ones, because we'd be so tired, and I'd have my hands on my knees and I'd be bent over, and DJ would be in the same posture I was. And then I'd go cook him for a one-on-one win, So it makes it fun to be around those types of guys that I was fortunate enough to play with.
Awesome, man.
All right, you talk about lighting somebody up with a smile. What about lighting somebody up in practice? Who hit you the hardest in practice in your time?
That's a good question. He's
like, nobody.
I'm gonna have to say the turf. I don't think anybody ever hit me as hard as I hit them, but I do remember 2019 spring ball. I went up for a ball in the corner of the end zone on the turf field and came down and smacked the back of my head. And that one stung pretty good. I will say, I will give Parker Baldwin credit. In one of either it was a spring game at the Q or Fan Fest, I caught a pass over the middle, and I was, for whatever reason, not tackled yet, but I started running up the field, and Parker Baldwin's coming at me from the side, and I drop my shoulder, and we freaking collide like two rhinoceroses. And he stays down. I get up. I give him the old Aztec first down tight end chop, and then I get off to the side. I'm like, oh, my shoulder kind of hurts. It's like, oh, my neck kind of hurts. Man. And I was done for the day, so I got a nice little break. But that's probably the only hit that I'll ever remember being something where I was like, damn, that kind of hurt,
Yeah, Parker would bring it. Game day,
yeah.
Man. From everything we saw game days, man, Parker would bring it.
Absolutely. So that's probably the only one I really remember. Most of the time it's me putting the DBs on their butts, but other than that, that's about it.
That was going to be the follow-up. Who did you put the hardest? Who did you hit that you remember?
You know what? My freshman year, Parker Baldwin was in I want to say I was to the field and I ran a slant, and he was the boundary safety, and he tried to give me a cheap one, and I hit him, knocked him on his butt. He tried to get up. I put him back down again. And I will forever remember that, because that was, as a freshman, that was probably something you shouldn't have done to a player who's been there for a couple years. Yeah. So I'll vividly remember that. And then during one of our spring scrimmages, when I want to say I was a sophomore, I was on the backside of an outside zone play to the boundary, and I was sifting up through each level. I hit someone at the first level, missed the block at the second level. I was like, screw this, kept working up, and one of the DBs that I got to play with and was blocking him, driving him to the sideline. And then I actually picked him up and kind of just set him down on his back, and that's something I always remember. I got a great video of that on my phone, but I love that clip. And you want to talk about hitting people. I remember 2016, first time back in Reno, playing the Wolfpack at home, and Wellesley and I were running sort of a levels concept. I was the over, he was the slam flat. Wellesley catches it. There's one guy trailing him, and I just remember freaking dropping my shoulder into him. And I looked back up. Wells had scored, and it was a great feeling, to be able to, help the old guy at that time get in the end zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to announce that Smooth Sack Summer is officially here. When you're playing in the summer sun, make sure you're groomed up from pubes to bun. Thanks to our friends at Manscaped, this could be your smoothest summer yet. Is the ultimate bundle to keep your boys cool while you look hot. Join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. Get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com when you use this promo code SUNS20. Inside the package, you'll find the star of the show, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is their 5th generation trimmer So they've got it dialed down to a science. And right now with that promo code SUNS20, make sure you save that 20% off plus the free shipping and the 2 extra gifts. You can't beat it for summer to stay cool and look hot. Remember that. Manscaped.com. Take advantage of it today. Let's talk a little bit about this year's team now, as much as you can divulge, because Texas A&M Commerce, right? Well, I keep forgetting the name of their mascot. I keep thinking
The
it's
Lions.
The Lions. Okay, I keep calling them the Mud Dogs. The Mud Dogs, like Water Boy or something. But
Yeah.
the Lions. Okay. In preparation for the season for week 1, this year's 2024 Aztec Fast team. Man, how we looking? Because true freshman quarterback starting. We've talked about it a bit in our preview. The offensive line is big and tough, big dudes, right? You got some experience, some guys coming over with Sean Lewis that have played with him before on the offense, which is very helpful, right?
Yes.
Cooper back there, the running back, that running game is going to have to be, I think, expectations for people need to be tempered a little bit, right? Because, we're joking around like, Danny Dimes threw it around 70 times in a game. I mean, let's have some fun now, but, you got to run the ball.
Yeah, no, Coach Lou's been preaching to the team, you win football games by running the ball and killing the run. So, as much as we want to, stretch the field vertically and horizontally, like we talked about, like we want to run the ball, first and foremost. And I think that's just part of, Coach Lou's history with him being a Wisconsin Badger and what they used to do running the rock. So it's a huge part of our offense. And, you should know that, like, you can still create explosive, fun plays to watch by running the rock. And I think having Coop definitely enhances our game, but, having a running back room that has Cooper, Jalen, Keenan, Cam, Lucky, I mean, even Nick Gardenera, who's our walk-on running back. Like, if I give anybody an all-camp award, it would be him, because that dude has ran the rock, and it's been fun to watch him. But you look at that room and how deep that is, you're very confident in our ability to have a fresh back in there who's going to be able to run the ball. And then obviously each guy has their own attributes. It's like a spice rack, like Coach Lou talks about. It's like a spice rack. You want guys that can do different things. So I think each of our running backs provides a great value to our team and in their strength. And with that being said, like, obviously it all starts up front with us as the 5-0 line, as the unit that has to be the most connected on the field, that has to have the fastest speed of communication. And, with bringing in some key pieces during the portal, and moving guys around that are in the room, and especially getting Ross and Miles back from some pretty crappy injuries, like what they provide on the field and what they provide in the room, being the older guys that have played a bunch of snaps. Like, I love having them in the room, and it's a lot of fun, but they're good role models for the young guys in the room, on how they should learn how to play the game the right way. Because I think the way that especially Ross goes about himself on the practice field, and in the meeting room is something that a young guy could look up to. But us as a 5-person unit, we have to be tied in with everything, and it starts with our centers, and their speed of communication to the rest of the offensive line, and where the point is, where the slide's going to, and making sure that all 5 of us are on the same page in order for the play to be successful. We had some issues in the spring where we were 4 for 5 and we were 1 guy short. And obviously with it starting with us, it almost ends with us if that happens. So I think the guys on the offensive line have done a really good job becoming a unit and working together rather than working against each other. And it was really fun for me to see that growth that they had from the start of fall camp to the end of fall camp. Seeing some young guys make some really big strides, see some older guys kind of feeling it into their own and understanding who they need to be for us in order for us to be successful. So I thought Coach Schmidt's done a really good job with helping get those guys work together and be a strong unit. But, like you said, guys that have played for Coach Lewis in the past, like, Mikey Harrison at Colorado or Jay Sean Polk at Kent State, like the pieces that we have on our team are very dynamic, and a lot of the things that we are going to be able to do in game planning, creating matchups for a versatile Jay Sean Polk or, a bigger body like Jude Wolf or Mikey Harrison on a linebacker, like the matchups that we are going to game plan and we're going to create for our guys to be in the best position available is almost unlimited with the amount of pieces that we are able to work with. And obviously it all just comes down to us coaching them to do the right things and trusting that when the lights are on and we're no longer on the field with them, like they're going to be able to go out there and execute. And I think with someone like Danny O'Neill leading that offensive unit, I have a lot of confidence in him. I think the guys gravitate towards who he is and his personality, and he's a fun guy to be around, and he's all jokes, but when it comes to ball, like he's all ball. So, and I think Coach Matty J's done a really good job helping him come along and understanding, what college football is going to be about. It's a lot of different looks in the back end than what you see in high school. It's bigger guys, faster guys. But I think Matty J's done a really good job of making sure that Danny's ready to be our guy week one. And I have confidence in him. The coaching staff obviously has confidence in him. And it's just, Danny having that confidence in himself, like, hey, I'm the guy, like I can do this. So it'll be really exciting to see what all 11 guys on the offense put out there, come that Saturday night.
Awesome, man. I just want to get back to your point really quickly about Coach Lewis coming from Wisconsin, being a Wisconsin guy. People have this like misconception that it's going to be like a softer style of football, and it's more, just about getting the ball in space, everything. He's still like, you guys are still like a physical based team.
Absolutely.
Just because we're going to spread everybody out, that doesn't mean we're not going to be physical, right?
Absolutely. Like we do team run, inside run almost every day. Like it comes down. Coach Lou understands how important the offensive line and the defense line and those trenches are. Like he wants to make sure that they're getting the proper work that they need to be ready, come game time. And, it's still going to be a very physical style of football. Like you can't be soft in the sport, you just can't. And the way that we're preparing the guys and, things like that, especially with the up-tempo offense, like it's not easy on a receiver who just ran 30 yards down the field, has to sprint back and possibly run it again. Like not just physically tough, but also mentally tough. And, you can't be soft in either one. And the way we go about practice, making sure that the guys get enough reps of what they need to get while still giving them breaks to be able to rest and breathe and maybe talk through some things. And, I think we've done a really good job of that, over this fall camp.
Awesome, man. I'm super pumped because I'm an O-line guy. I like watching O-linemen do their thing. I like the power run game, that running power and those veer concepts and stuff that Coach Lewis is going to bring in. I'm so excited for all that stuff, man. I can't wait to see you guys.
Yeah. I mean, you listen to him and Coach Schmidt talk about run game. Like it's like they're speaking another dialect. And being that the history that they had with each other at Syracuse, kind of understanding a little bit, of each other's styles of concepts and things like that and coaching points. But, even today, like, watching some Texas A&M Commerce film, like them talking about the run game and where we need to watch for and alert to this and things like that. Like, it's really fun to watch those two kind of just go back and forth and communicate, on certain points and, schemes and things like that. But, it's like I said, we're still going to be a physical run style, run the ball to win offense. So that's not going to be lost on anybody.
Awesome.
The fundamentals of winning football don't change, man. They don't change. No matter what the scheme and the formations, all that stuff, you still got to be physical, like what you're saying,
No, I mean, absolutely. And I think Coach Lewis has done a really good job with not trying to change the culture here, understanding what it's been. But enhancing it and bringing it along to a different level. Like he let me. We did a offensive unit meeting the other night. He comes into our GA office and looks at Coach Taj and myself and goes, "What do we need to coach these guys?" And not even 3 seconds later, he looks at me. He's like, "Hey, teach them the fight song." So I got to do that on a couple minutes notice. So that was a lot of fun. And then, obviously we have our creed and our things like that. And we have some traditions that he's just not going to let die out because he understands how important they are to the program and former Aztecs like myself. So it's been a good adjustment and, trying to keep the best parts of our program true to what got us to this point. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait to sing the fight song up in the boxes. I'm running down the stairs. So it'll be fun to watch those guys be able to go out there and do that with the band and the student section. And a lot of the reason we do it is to give some love back to the people that came out to support us. And obviously the band works very hard. They're out practicing earlier today, and so we want to be able to celebrate with them. And obviously, because as much as they are the ones on the field, we're the ones on the sideline. Like, it comes down to the community that we have backing us. So you want to be able to show some appreciation for the people that came to watch you do something that you love very much. And, for me being a former Aztec, it was always a lot of fun to see a lot of smiling faces, a lot of clapping hands, and, that opportunity to sing the fight song after we won games. So, it's a good opportunity for our guys and those that are new to the program and those, that didn't get to sing it too much last year to be able to sing that thing a lot of times this year.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Parker, answer me this question. The Aztecs are going to be singing the fight song at the end of the game this weekend if they do this.
That's a good question.
In general terms,
no,
without giving the game plan away,
Yeah, it's such a basic answer, but you got to execute, and you got to be able to execute the scheme and be, like I said, the offensive line starts with us. We got to make sure we're pointed right and we're doing the right things. And it's not fall camp anymore. Coach Schmidt's not going to be standing behind them, 15 yards and talk to them when they come, after the play's done. So they got to go out there. They got to execute the scheme. They got to do it together, and they got to trust in each other that, hey, the guy, the Aztec warrior to my left and to my right is going to do his job. But, I hate that it's such a simple answer, but that's what it comes down to. We can scheme up a touchdown every play. But when the guys get out there and they're by themselves, and it's up to them to go out there and to execute to the highest level that they can. And the players that we're putting out on the field on that Saturday, the 11 offensive guys, the 11 defensive guys, and the 11 guys on special teams are going to be able to trust that each other knows what they're doing, knows how they're going to do it, and knows that they're going to be able to execute their assignment to their fullest ability. That's all it comes down to for them. And then, once that last play hits and we're in the best formation of football, the old victory formation, we'll be able to go sing that fight song, and, we'll be right back at it on Sunday, Monday, and we'll prepare for Oregon State.
All right. You're doing a lot of scouting, though. You're doing a lot of scouting of Texas A&M Commerce. So what if Texas A&M Commerce were to pull off the upset? They would do it by doing this.
That's a tough question, man.
That's a good one, and I'm not sure I have an answer for you. Just because I'm confident in our coaching staff and are confident in our players to be able to go out there and perform at their highest levels and be able to come out with a victory. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no if we win. There's no but what if we do this? There's when we win, and when we go out there and when we play our best, we're going to be a very, very fun team to watch on Saturdays.
We will fight till victory. That's the answer. Yeah, seems like you know the fight song, man. You know it.
I know. I mean, it was funny. Like, we have our fight song, we have our creed, and man, I haven't said either of them in 2-3 years, but I come back last year and somebody starts it off and it's like it kicks right back into your brain like you never forgot it. So it's fun to hear some of the new guys and even some of the new coaches try to say our creed and things like that. So Coach Lou will call them up in front of the whole team, the whole staff, and be like, all right, Aztec Warrior Creed. And it's disappointing when they don't get it, but it's electric when they do get it, and the whole room goes crazy, and it's a lot of fun, and it means a lot to me. So it means something to me when those guys are able to go up there and blab out our creed. So
that kind of pops a question up in my head. Who is the funnest / funniest coach that you've been around with this new staff? Who's the guy that makes you laugh or is like fun to be around?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it up to our special teams coordinator, Coach Zach Barton. Like, coaching special teams is not an easy job, and having Coach Deke as one of my coaches when I played, and then getting to work closely with him last year, and one of the biggest reasons that I wanted to be a coach, it's special teams is not an easy job. There's the 4 main teams. You got PAT, field goal. It's a lot of work, but Coach Barton is always making sure that the guys are involved and they're having fun. And we'll do some competitions with them, and we'll do some situational teachings with them. But I think some of the stuff that comes out of Coach Barton's mouth, like it just, you can't help but laugh in the middle of a very quiet setting. I think he does a really good job making sure the guys are engaged and they're learning. And I think that's shown throughout his special team scheme and the guys learning it. And, he always jokes that, it's his daughter, and then it's special teams, and then everything else. And so hearing how much he cares about special teams and how much he cares about the game and our university and our program, our kids, our coaches, like when something funny comes out of his mouth, you can't help but laugh. And then I'd have to give if I had to give a runner-up award to, it would be to Coach Lenny or Sampson. Coach Lenny's always got something funny to say, and getting to be around him has been a lot of fun, and learning from him, and talking football with a guy that has done it all, and he's got some really good one-liners. And it's most of the time with him, it's like some of the looks he gives you from across the room, like you're in a serious setting, somebody says something, and he kind of looks at you with the wide eyebrow, and so if I had to give it, it'd be to Coach Lenny, would be the funniest coach runner-up award, but Coach Barton's definitely taking the cake on that one.
Awesome. Great answer, dude. Great answer.
All right, Parker, a couple of things before we let you go, because I know it's getting late. You got early mornings and everything. Let's get to know a little bit about Parker Houston, just real quick. Start, bench, or cut? Start, bench, or cut? All right. Waffles, pancakes, French toast.
They're homemade? Are they from somewhere? Is this just like in general? Because they're brothers family restaurants right up the road, and I will take their French toast 10 out of 10 times. So I'll start French toast, bench waffles, and I'm cutting pancakes.
Oh man,
French toast is just that it's that perfect sugary sweet breakfast in the morning, and waffles you can do so much more with, because they got them little holes in them, so they hold more syrup and they hold more butter and all that. And I think sometimes it's really easy to screw up a pancake, and there's some pancakes that I would probably put above, but I'm gonna have to go, if we're going generic, it's got to be French toast, waffles, and then pancakes.
Excellent answer. Right. Only if Prince makes you pancakes after you guys play basketball. Prince, rest in peace, Prince.
Yeah,
pancakes, making pancakes. All right, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. Start, bench, cut.
Always been a big Star Wars fan. I actually have one of my tattoos is Star Wars, so obviously I'm gonna start Star Wars.
Oh man.
Of what? Of what? What is it? What of?
It's of Han Solo's Lucky Dice.
Oh, okay.
So got a little bit of luck everywhere I go with me, you know. No, I've always loved Star Wars. You know, it's something that growing up that, you know, my dad loved to show me. And so it was a big part of my childhood, and it was a lot of fun watching the movies and all the new shit that's come out with it. Like it's impressive what they're able to do. And
I should have asked start bench or cut, like, you know, the Clone Wars or the freaking, you know.
Yeah, you can't beat
trilogy
the original.
numbers,
You
like-
can't beat the original trilogy. It's the basis, but that Clone Wars TV show is
Oh, dude.
that's got some really fun plot to it, and it's freaking detailed as hell. But you can't beat the original trilogy at all.
All right, from the original trilogy, what's your favorite movie?
2. Two's always been my favorite.
And it better be Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, no, like the being on Hoth and all those battles, like that was probably one of my favorite memories growing up was seeing that. And you know, two's always been my favorite. Favorite one is just how there's something about it that just, you know, kind of special. All the snow, growing up around the snow, like it's something that, you know, kind of stays close to my heart. So two's out there. Two's number one.
Han Solo in that movie had one of the coldest lines in the history of cinema, where Princess Leia says, "I love you."
I love you, and he says, "I know." Yeah, I mean,
cold-blooded.
Those damn smugglers, man. No, it's yeah, that's one of. And then I was actually, I think I want to say, it's either my sophomore or my junior year here. One of my best friends from home, really into Star Wars as well. Him, my mom, and myself, we got into Comic-Con for 3 days.
Oh, nice.
And so my mom, being as outgoing as she is, said we are dressing up for all 3 days. And so I think it was day one. We went Star Wars, and my best friend was Anakin, and he actually had like long dark hair, looked the part. I was like a Padawan Obi-Wan, and I had my long hair, so I had the Padawan braid and everything. And my mom was Rey, and she made her bow staff from PVC pipes and all that, and freaking looked like right out of a movie set. So that was one of my favorite experiences, you know, of all time, and being able to experience that, and you know, all the kids that come up to you and they just want to take pictures with you and things like that. Like, it does nothing but warm your heart. So that was fun. And then, you know, we did DC. So I was Aquaman and let the hair flow. And it was awesome because it was actually the day that Jason Momoa was at Comic-Con. So he was the big panel that day. So got to do that. That was fun. And then the third day we were Marvel. So I was Thor. And I'll remember that I stood next to another Thor who probably could bench about 5,000 pounds. And so I have this great picture of my skinny body next to this dude that looks like he should be in a Hulk costume. And I have my phone in my hand, and I'm squeezing my phone to try to make my arm look bigger because I'm standing next to this dude that probably should have won Mr. Olympia. So it was a great experience, and you know, not a lot of people get to do it with the way the lottery system works for that. But you know, it was a lot of fun to do that with with my mom and one of my best friends.
All right, so pretty much we could just cut Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, right? Nobody.
You might as well, because I'm gonna bench some Star Wars, other series of Star Wars, and you know, we'll cut the other two.
All right. Next, start, bench, or cut. The Gronk, Travis Kelce, or George Kittle? Tight ends, NFL tight ends.
George Kittle start. I'm a Niners fan for life, and watching that dude play the game has never looked more fun. And just the way he does it, and fortunate enough to texted Keith Ishmael one day and was like, "Hey, want to come out to a game?" When he was with the 49ers, and it was my birthday, and he hooked us up with some family tickets. So I got to see one of my best friends for life, and got to see George Kittle play in person, which was a lot of fun. I'm starting George Kittle. I'm benching the Gronk, and I'm cutting Travis Kelce, unfortunately to say. It's tough, but I think Gronk was a very fun player to watch, and all the different things that he was able to do as a tight end. Just you can't match up with the guy who's that big and that freaking psycho. So I do think Travis Kelce's got some pretty damn good attributes. I'm a big Gronk and a big Kittle guy. So
and he's a chief.
Yeah, and he's a chief. So
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Start, bench, or cut. David Wells, Daniel Brunskill, or Kahali Waring.
Whew. Now, do I get Daniel Brunskill his junior year or his senior year?
It's open. You don't have to answer that one. I'll get you in trouble, man.
I'm freaking. You know what? If we're running the freaking old Coach Horn's offense, we're starting all three of them, and we're finding Nick Bodden to put in there at fullback. So I'm good with that.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, last one. You famously donated your hair to a charitable cause, right? I believe.
Yes.
Okay.
Locks of Love.
Yeah. That was notable. I remember that one. So, which do are you starting, benching, or cutting? Coach Lewis's baldy and his goatee? Kyle Spalding's luxurious locks? Or Danny O'Neal's moulet, his mullet? Which one you going with, man? Which one you going? Where are we going? Where we going, Parker?
Because Kyle works for us. He's one of our recruiting coordinators and one of my best friends of all time. And I always tell him that he copied my hair and just thought it looked better.
He's like,
I'm gonna start Danny O'Neal's mullet, man. That thing is freaking sweet. Like, it's got some curls, got some flow. Like, you want to have some swag on the field, you got to have that. And then
you could rock. It's very versatile. You could rock it with a lot of different looks.
You could
rock it.
I'm gonna bench Coach Lewis's because that man, he pulls off the bald head and the goatee. Like, and having facial hair is obviously a big thing for me. So even if I have a little, because poor Kyle Spalding's a baby-faced big man, so his hair's getting cut. So and I'm on my way to the bald head, so I gotta enjoy what I have for as long as I have it, because it's starting to go real freaking fast. So as long as it doesn't fall off my face, I think I'll be okay.
Start sharpening up that razor, buddy. Start sharpening up the razor. I'm feeling you.
Take my butt down to Pappy's and see what my boy Roger can do for me. But got to try to keep mine as long as I can. So we'll see. I would cut Kyle Spalding's hair in real life right now if he was in the other room. We'd go in there and we'd go see it.
That's got to be a challenge, man, within the staff somewhere. Like, somebody does something. If the team wins, if they get bowl eligible, everybody got to shave their heads or something. Everybody got to shave their heads.
Here you go. I'll put it. I told the online when we win the Mountain West this year that they can shave my beard off at the end of the year. So you guys can help hold me to it. And when we host that damn trophy again, I'll send a video in of the online shaving off my beard. So hopefully we get to that point. I haven't seen my freaking face in like 3 years, so this would be interesting.
You hear that? We got to pull Manscaped in there somehow. Try to get the.
Oh yeah,
let's do it. Let's do it.
Parker, this was a lot of fun, man. Appreciate you joining us, dude. We got to do this again one of these days.
Absolutely.
All the best of luck in this season, whatever it is. Luck. Some people don't believe in it, but keep fighting hard. Keep being out there, learning, improving yourself, and this team is going to benefit from it. This program is going to benefit from it. They already have, man.
Yeah. Well,
thank you for joining us. Thanks for your time, dude.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. It's been a lot of fun. I loved having a little break from work, so feel rejuvenated, feel ready to go. But I can't thank you guys enough for what you do for some of our players and for the content that you guys put out and always being positive about us as Aztec football. So thank you guys for the opportunity. And whenever you want me to be back on again, bye week, probably be the best. I'd love to be back. So if you guys would have me.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Try to get some rest, dude. Try to get some rest while you can.
Yeah, we'll see. I got a monster in there calling my name, so we'll go see if it's too late or not.
Have a great season. We'll reach out, dude, for sure.
Awesome.
Sure.
Sounds good. Yeah. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you on Saturday.
All right, man. Take it easy, partner.
Right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
See ya. Awesome, dude. Awesome.
I'm an Aztec warrior.